Masechta Menochos Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph. We're starting from Yud Aleph Amud Beis, the Mishnah, 6 lines from the bottom. Zok the Mishnah, Hakintzas HaMincha, one who does the Kmitza with a Mincha with the mindset, Lechel Sheyara Bachutz, to eat the Shiraim outside the Azara, or even if he had a mind, Kazayis Meshera Bachutz, only a Kazayis of the Kmitza to eat outside the Azara, or he made a kmitza al das lahakta kumtz machutz to burn the kmitza outside the Azara, or even if he had a mind lahakta kazayis kumtz machutz, only a kazayis of the kmitza to burn it outside the Azara, or he did a kmitza lahakta l'wei nas. So first, let me tell you, from the Imah Achiyach, we learn out that double lashon, that the pigul is not only applicable to the achila of a person, the shiara, but even to the aktaras hamizbeach. And also, we learn out that so there in these cases, or he had a mind to burn the levaina, the spice outside the azara, puzzle. It's also to be makar the mincha. And of course, it's not merutza, and the Bible are not yotzi they chayvus their mincha, and if they were and they were makiv, they're not allowed to eat the shirayim. But by kares, there's no kares for chutzlam kaimei, because in Pashas Kedeshim, where it mentions v'ma'ach yachol, in that pasuk doesn't mention the punishment of kares. There it's talking about by chutzlam kaimei. But of course, by Chuslas Manei, there it says, of course, the punishment of Kares. Sagt the Mishnah weiter, one who's kainitz the mincha das lachashiyad alamacha on the mindset to eat the shiyarim la'achazman. Now we're talking about pigul which you're chayiv, because the real pigul, or even if he had a mind to eat only kizayis b'shiyad alamacha, a kizayis of the shayim, after the allotted time, because the allotted time is the day that you mark of the kaimitz, they become, that day it's kosher, and the night after the day of the kmitza, then it becomes a puzzle. And the shirayim meaning the kmitza becomes puzzle. The kmitza and the levaina become the puzzle once it reaches the night of the day that you did the kmitza. But the shiraim, the leftovers, become puzzle the next morning. One who was came into the mincha lechel shiara lemacha to eat the shiara after aleis hashachar, the day after the next day of the kmitza of the mincha. Even if he had a mind. Only a kazayis to eat it, then the next day after the kmitza, lahakta kumtza lamacha, or to burn. He had a mind to burn the kmitza after the day of the kmitza had already completed. He did the kmitza one day, and then he says, "I have a mind to burn it the next day." Or he has a mind to only burn a kazayis, but of the kmitza the next day, or to burn the spices the next day. All these cases is mamish, a regular case of pigul v'chayam mala kares, and whoever eats from them is going to be chayiv kares. This is the rule. Kol ha'koimetz, whoever does a kmitza b'mincha, or noisen, or he places the kli. There's four avodas by kmitza. There's the actual kmitza, which corresponds to the shechita of a carbon. Then there's the Kabbalah, in the clichés to sanctify the kmitza, which is like the Kabbalah Saddam by a regular carbon. And then there's the Hailacha, bringing it to the Mizbeach to burn it. They're bringing it to the Mizbeach, the blood, to spray it, and the actual spraying and the Aktara are corresponding. So those are the four Avedas by a Mincha. So one who places the Kaimetz into the klisharis to sanctify the kmitza, or he brings the kaimetz to the mizbeach, he's the burning, and by any of these avodas, he had a mind lechel to eat from it, lechel, something that it's din is that it is eaten like the shirayim, but he had a mind chutzlam kaimel chutzlas manay ulahakta, or he did one of these for avodas to burn out the mizbeach. Of course, it has to be davar shadak lahakta, something that's fit to be burnt on the mizbeach, either the kaimetz or the levina. But he had a mind chutzlas manay chutzlam kaimel. So the din of the carbon is, if the machshava was chutzlam kaimei, the carbon is possible. But we said chutzlam kaimei, there's no punishment of kares. But chutzlam zmanei, but if he had in mind to eat it after a lot of time, and those who had the machshava, that type of machshava, and he eats from that mincha that it had machshava to eat it after a lot of time, chayam malav kares. V'vat Yaakov hamatik mitzvah, providing that he was makiv the carbon, everything he did well, except the only thing that he did wrong was pigul. Ketzad karu hamatik mitzvah, saying, what is the case that he was makiv everything kibshut mitzvah? So the Mishnah continues. Comes v'shtika, he did the kmitza without any machshavas psul. And then Nasa Mikli, and he placed the kmitza into the kli, into the kli shores. The Heilich, and he brought it, the Hikter, and he burnt it. All these three avodas, he did machshavas chutzlus manik, but with the machshava to eat it after a lot of time. Oisha kamatz, or by the kmitza itself of the mincha, he did it with machshavas chutzlus manik. But then, then the other three avodas, by placing the kmitza into the klisharis and bringing it to the mizbeach and burning on the mizbeach, b'shtika, without any machshavas, he didn't have any machshava there. The only place where he had the wrong machshava was by the kmitza, or Aisha comes with us mikli, or he did the kmitza, he placed it in the kli, and he brought it and he burnt it, meaning all four avodas he had with machshava chutzlas manei. Zohu, this is a oifen shekarva matik mitzvasei. These are all cases where he was makiv mitzvasei, because aside from the machshava chutzlas manei, there was no other psul. Keitza loy karva matik mitzvasei. What's the case that he wasn't makiv mitzvasei? He says the Mishnah, Kamatz, he did a mitzvah with the machshava chutzlam kaimai. And then Nasim Kli, then he placed the kmitza in the kli sharis, and he brought it to the mizbeach and then burnt it. So he did all these three avedes, the kmitza, the nesina b'kli sharis and the hilacha and the aktara. He did all these three avedes with chutzlas manei. But the kmitza that he did was with chutzlam kaimai. Or the reverse, so he split with two different machshavas. The kmitza was done chutzl mekaymei, and the other three avodas was done chutzl zmanei. Or he did the reverse. What was the machshava by the kmitza? Chutzl zmanei. And then the other three avodas are nasa mikli, placing it into kli sharis v'hailach and bringing it to the mizbeach v'hikta and burning it. Those three avodas, what machshav did he have? Chutzl mekaymei. Or a third case. He did a kmitze, placed in the klishares, and he brought it and he burned it all with one machshava, chutz lim kaimei, only with the machshava chutz lim kaimei. And so he did one of these. I'm sorry. Oisha comments nas mekliba hikta, meaning that one of these four avodas he did chutzlam kaimei. Only one of these four avodas he did chutzlam kaimei, and the other three avodas he did chutzlas manei. Zeu shalei karu hamata kimitzvasei. That's a case that he wasn't makiv kimitzvasei, because if the mincha would have become possible even without chutzlas manei, even without the pigul, just by the mere fact that there was machshava chutz l'mkaimei, which is not pigul, that would have passed the carbon already without pigul, and therefore it's considered loy karv hamatek mitzvasei, and it's not pigul. And another case a mincha that wasn't cut off, the one that was makavit wasn't, it was shleik mitzvah, meaning he wasn't makav mitzvah. Minchas chayto, minchas kenai, shekematz shleik l'shma. If you remember, we learned in the Mishnah, at the beginning of the Masechta, that all the Menochos that were nikmitzu shleik l'shma is going to be kosher, except for minchas chayta and minchas kanoos. So here he brings down minchas chayta or minchas kanoos shekematz shleik l'shman. He did it with the machshava of shleik l'shman. It passes it that we learned before in the beginning of the Masechta, and then and he placed the kmitza beklish in the klishat there. All these three avodas he did it with the machshava chutz l'zman. Oy shakamatz, oy he the minchas chayta, he did a kmitza, or the minchas guys with the machshava chutz l'zman, and then nas mekliv hikte shalei l'shman. But the other three avodas he had shalei l'shman that carbon, not lishma of the minchas chayta, which we learn it's possible. Oy shakamatz v'nas mekliv hikte, or in any of one of these four avodas, he had in mind shalei l'shman. And the other ones he had in mind, Pigel, this is another case where he wasn't, the one who was Makavit, wasn't Makavit Kimitzvase. Okay. Zog the Mishnah Vaita, one who does one of the four Avodas, Avdas Lechel Kezayis Bachutz, to eat the Kezayis of the Shirayim outside the Hazara, and he also had in mind to eat, and he also had in mind to eat kezayis, another kezayis lemachar as pigel chutz l'zmane. One kezayis he had chutz l'zmane, which is not pigel, but it passes the carbon. Another kezayis of the shirayim he had in mind to eat after a lot of time, which is pigel. Or you had in mind kezayis lemachar and kezayis bachutz. Or you had in mind the kezayis for first he had in mind pigel the kemachshava. And then he had the machshava of chutz l'zman, so to b'chatzi zayis b'chutz b'chatzi zayis l'macha. Or he had in mind pigul with a half a zayis. First he had machshava with a chatzi zayis chutz l'mekaymei, and then pigul, meaning after a lot of time, with the other half a zayis, or b'chatzi zayis l'macha. Or first he had in mind pigul, to eat it after the half a zayis after a lot of time. And bachatzi zayis or kachatzi zayis bachutz, and he had in mind the other half of zayis. Did it chutz l'mekayimei. In all these cases, it's possible. Lein by anish karis, and there's no karis for eating it. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, well, this is the klal. If Hashem Zazman, kadman l'Hashem Samakim. If the pigul came before the chutz l'mekayimei, meaning if he had in mind first after to eat it after a lot of time, and the second machshava was chutz l'mekayimei outside the hazara. Pigul, we go according to the first machshava. But if he first had in mind chutz l'mekayimei, and then he had in mind chutz l'zman, so he had the chutz l'mekayimei first, then possibly by anish, then there's no anish for eating it. The Chacham say well, it makes no difference which machshava came first, whether it's chutz l'mekayimei or chutz l'zman. Possible, and there's not going to be a punishment of kares for his eating. The Gemara had asked a shaila according to Rabbi Yechna that says shirayim shechas ben kmitza laktara, the shine that was missing between after the kmitza and the actual burning makter kaimetz aleim. He says you still burn the kmitza. The kaimet long, and the halacha is according to his shita that the oisam shiraim hasur machila, that the shiraim is going to be asur machila if it was missing between the kmitza and the haktorah. Mao, what's going to be the din? The ta'ane lohu haktorah lemikbeino bepigul. Will it help for pigul? Because we know the shiraim is asur, and the kohen could be makta the kohemetz. But mitzad echad, I'm going to say, look, since he's mutter to be makta the kohemetz, so he was makta there kimitzvasei. So therefore, there should be the din of pigul. Or should I say, no, the mincha doesn't have a pigul. Why? Because through the Haktari, the pigul is only on something that's roi lachila. Here we say when he's makter, even after he's makter the kmitza, the shirayim is also. So the shirayim is considered like a davar shein roi lachila, and we said pigul is only by a davar shein roi lachila. So maybe the machshavas pigul won't help because it's on something that's not roi lachila. Another shaila is v'lafkinu midei meila if the doctor sakemes without the machshavas psul, it helps the shayim. But so the shaila is lafkinu midei meila should have taken out of the din meila because we know bichlal when you're makter something, the shirayim becomes mutter. So should I say now this food there's no meila, or should I say, hey, maybe the Aktara didn't help that the shirayim that to take off the meila off the shirayim because being that the shirayim is still aser, it's aser b'achila, so maybe the din of meila should remain on it. Amar Rav Huna said, "Afilu Rabbi Akiva the Yoma." So Rav Huna answered, even according to Rabbi Akiva, who says in the Mishnah by Zikas Adam on the Mizbeach, "My eles leyoytze." If somebody took out of the psar of kachim, he took it outside the hazara before the zika. So and now we know the zika takes it out of the din of meila. So if he took it outside and he and before the zika, even though it's us because he already took it outside, nevertheless, just like you said by Aktas Hakemetz, I should say the Aktas Hakemetz shouldn't help for the does not help for the Shirayim. Here also, spraying the blood doesn't help to be matter the meat. What would the words of Rabbi Akiva say? So let's learn out according to from Rabbi Akiva, just like Rabbi Akiva says that the zika helps to take it out of the dinim of meila. It's mamish exactly our case that you can't eat the meat because he took out the kachim chutz lazara before the zika, and he sprayed the blood. The sar kachim is aser, but there's no dimila. It helps when to get to dimila here too. After the kimitza, it was missing from the shirayim, so you cannot eat the shirayim even after you burn it, but it should take off the dimila. So if you want to know, I can tell you there's no difference. There's a difference. Why did Rabbi Akiva say it's going to be mutter? Because there's nothing missing there. Upsul machmas dava achalu. The whole psul is because of nothing to do with the guf of the meat. It's because of an outside psul that he took it outside. Avol here, this achila by the mincha chisarin, the psul of the guf. There's a chisarin in the shirayim. It's like it's a mum. It's missing the shear by the shirayim. So I would say like mahana lehaktara. The Haktara won't help it to be matir from the din of Mila. Just the opposite. A psul yetzer should be more chama than a psul chesaron. Why? I feel Rabbi Lezer, even according to Rabbi Lezer, that he argues on Rabbi Akiva, who says Zika won't benefit for the yetzer, won't take off the din of Mila, according to Rabbi Lezer, who argues Rabbi Akiva, but he'll say Hani Mili. The words of Elazar that said that it won't help to remove the meila, that's by Yotzei, the leis levifnim, because it's not in the kodesh. He took it outside the azara. So that's why it won't help to take off the dimeila. These levifnim, but that is all the way inside. It's like when you buy a lottery, you can win. Here it's bifnim. He's shaykh to win the lottery. He didn't buy a whole bunch of tickets to have a bigger chance. But there's missing because there's missing. So he has one ticket, but he's in the lottery. So bifnim, it's in bifnim. So I'd say the Aktara should help him. Just like When it's Yaitse, he's not even the lottery. He's not shaykh to win the $1 million from the lottery because it's outside. He never bought it. He didn't buy a ticket. But when it's bifnim, even though it's sudden, he didn't buy a lot of tickets to have his chances bigger. But he's bifnim. He's in the game because it's like he bought a lottery ticket. That's why I would say that should help to remove the din milah. From where do I know that the Aktos HaKemetz helps for the Shirayim? That if you burn the Keteiris, it helps them to the Shirayim. And to take it out, meaning it helps for the Shirayim to take off the din of Me'ilah and to have the din of pickle should be applicable. If not, that we learned the Mishnah, one who does a kmitza on the mincha lechel sheyareh b'achutz to eat the shayim outside with that mindset, oy kizayis b'sheyareh b'achutz, or to eat only kizayis of the shayim b'achutz. But when it comes to Abchir learned hakemitza mincha v'loy tani oy kizayis. He didn't want to learn the case of oy kizayis. My timer, loy tani oy kizayis. Why didn't he learn the case of oy kizayis? Lav is it then because he going chos shayim v'kam loy kizayis. Because you can learn that at the time when he made the kmitza, there was only a kazayis, and that would have been, according to in that case, it's very confusing. In that case, it's for sure it was somebody who's kaimitz and it was missing, and it was only left over a kazayis. So when you this time Abchia left out the word kazayis because it would he would have to learn in all the cases that there was only a kazayis left. That's how you're going to learn. So you're talking about there was only kazayis left. You're going to learn kazayis. There was only a kazayis left. We can learn the pshat that way. But you're going to learn there was only kazayis left, and he had machshavas pigul by each of the four avedas. And amongst the four avedas is kmitza. Doing a kmitza while there's only kazayis, everybody knows that that's going to be possible. So he couldn't learn kazayis because that would be misleading. Because by the kmitza, we would have a problem if before he did the kmitza there was only kazayis left. But by the other avodas, yeah, he would have agreed that it would the din of pickle would be applicable. Okay, we're going to say it inside. Since he by placing in the kli he didn't learn it, he didn't want to learn it. The words oikizayis. Because b'kmitza, legabe the kmitza, b'shiraim nabi loitani, because oikizayis. In the reisha, even in the reisha, that you're going to have to learn in a case where there was only kazayis left, that wouldn't be shaykh to say. So therefore, Katani, the Sefer, that's why the Sefer of the Mishnah, he learned, but Alma Mahanyu, but you see, by the other three Avodas, it would help the Haktorah of Shiraim, even though there was only, let's say, a kazayis left, in order to have the din of pigul or to remove the din of me'ilah. The only reason why he didn't say a kazayis because a kazayis would have applied even by kemitza. By kemitza, it's not considered as a kemitza if there was only kazayis before he did the kemitza. But by its mashmat, that was the only reason. But by the other avodas, the din of pigul would be shaykh, and the removal of Mila would be shaykh. Amalei Abaya says Abaya loy. No, it's no raya. I could tell you why he didn't want to learn Oy Kizayis, because who's this Mishnah following Rabbi Lezi? It's following Rabbi Lezi. The Tanan that we learned in the Mishnah in Zvach Minagaya to the east of Akravas Akabaris outside the Hazara Akoimitz, one who does the Kmitza of Mincha Alavena and the Alavena of the Mincha of Akteris and the Akteris of every day, Minchas Kahani. Or minchas chavitin shokay Mashiach, the minchas kahana which is all burnt, or the minchas chavitin avakoy Mashiach that's brought in the morning and in the evening. Minchas nesachim shehikim ma'achas mehen kizayis b'chutz, that he was makiv one of of these outside the Azara, Chayiv. He's going to be Chayiv. And of course, all of them have to be burnt on the Mizbeach. And has to have, the whole thing has to be burnt. So there, by those 4 cases, benegay to the Isa of Akros Kabbalas Mechutz Lazara. So he says that you're going to be chayiv. Even the Tanakama says that you're going to, the Tanakama says you're going to be even chayiv for just being makter a kezais outside. Rabbi Lezer says if he took it outside and took it outside, so you're going to be chayiv for yotzei chutz outside, even if you only took out a kezais. According to the Tanakhama, but Rabbi Lezer says he's potter till he takes the whole mincha outside. So, because aktaras of a part from a davar roi is not from a part. Somebody takes only a part that belongs to the mizbeach is not considered as aktara to be chayiv b'chutz. The only way that you'll be chayiv for haktaras b'chutz if you did the whole, not a chelek, but the whole mincha. And Reb Chia follows Reb Elazar's shita. That's why he couldn't learn oikezayis, because for oikezayis, you're not chayiv for chutz. So, therefore, according to him, a mincha wouldn't become pigel with a kezayis. It has to be the full kmitza. So this machshavas of Haktorah that he had in mind to be makted at a later time wouldn't be. It has to be the whole kmitza. It cannot be a kezayis. So given the Haktorah's kmitza le'masnulei, since by the burning of the kmitza he couldn't learn oikezayis b'sharayim nami. So therefore, even when he gave the machshava of the Achilas HaSharayim, loy masla oikezayis, he didn't learn the word oikezayis. In fact, if you're following the Shikha of Rabbi Elazar, Hai lahakta kumtza, this that it says that he to burn the kmitza lemachar oil bachutz, if he had that kavana with intention to eat after this man or outside the azara, is wrong. It should have said. It shouldn't have just said lahakta kumtza. Lahakta kumtza ulevaynasa mebayalei. Nitnan. Where do we see that's the shita of Rabbi Elazar? We learned in the Mishnah. Kaimitz v'halavayna v'mincha. Shehika v'sach nahem b'chutz chayiv. He's going to be chayiv. But Rabbi Elazar paita. Rabbi Elazar says it's pata ache yakriv only until he's makar b'chutz as shneim. Both, according to Rabbi Elazar, the Haktorah not only is the whole kaimitz have to be chashuv Haktorah, but the part of it is the levayna. It's talking about only by a kmitza b'kaimitz the minchas chayta, and the minchas chayta doesn't have levayna. Says ichbal tana lashminan kaimitz minchas chayta. Is the Tana about Mishnah bothering himself just to teach din of Mashavas Pickle b'negeya to kmitza of a minchas chayta? Amtimarein, yes. Chen kiyos Avdimi. So too when Avdimi came from Eretz Yisrael, Amma, he said b'feidish in the name of the Amida of Rabbi Elazar that this kaimitz that's mentioned in the Braisa of Rabbi Chia, kaimitz minchas chayta, it was a kmitza of minchas chayta, ve Rabbi Elazar and it was the shita of Rabbi Elazar. Rava now retracted. He says this that I said that Haktorah's kaimitz helps for the shirayim. He retracted. He says it's wrong. Haktorah's kaimitz b'emes does not help for shirayim that are missing. They do not. You cannot do the Mashavas Pigel will not take an effect. And you cannot remove the din of Me'ilah if, and you cannot remove the din of Me'ilah. Okay, the Tanya that we learned in the Braisa, the pasuk says, "But negated to the 12 chalas of the Lach Mapanim," it says, "V'hoisel adon lovanu v'achalu ki kodesh kadoshim hu loi." So the words who the word who is extra, is mioteres. He's coming to tell you that all the chalas of the mincha is considered as one bread, and if it's missing, it's ma'akiv. Shim nifrisa, if it broke, it crumbled, and now it's missing, achas mechalisa, one of the chalis, and it's missing, kulam psulis. They're all pasul, and they're not eaten, only they have to be burnt. So from this brayso, you can be medayik, dafke, if it was missing, then they all become pasul. Ha yatzas. But what if it was taken outside the hazara, even though it's pasul, but honey, nevertheless, honey, those that are found inside sheiris and could be eaten after he burns the two baziche of the keteides, because we're going to say it's as if that the keteides helped even benegay to the chalis that were pasul. Man shamatle, who's the Tana that told us that? The Alma Zrika that says that the spraying of the blood, which is a Havoida, that which is the comparison of burning the Bezich Levena. Burning the Bezich Levena is like spraying the blood. That may Ellisly Yaitse. It helps that if it was taken out, that there's still the din pigul will have a din pigul by being makter on the mizbeach, or to take it out of din meila, even though it's asma achila, those that went out. Rabbi Akiva, it follows Rabbi Akiva before, at the end of the previous summit. So the Tana Baraisa goes according to Rabbi Akiva, and therefore the Haktaras B'zichim helps even for the bread that went outside the Hazara, and to be maksha the chalas that were left inside. Vika Oma, and nevertheless, that this Tana says, she nifrisa, if one of the chalas were missing, loy, the Haktarah will not help to be mater the other chalas. So the psul of chson is a greater psul than psul yetza, and that's why everybody helps that the Haktarah will not help to become pigul if it's missing. Abaye said, "Mikatani, ha yatzas." Did we learn the diuk that if one of the chalis went out, that the rest are going to be kosher through the burning the bezichin, and because of that Haidah, you said that we hold like Rabbi Akiva. He says, Dilma, maybe you could be medayik that davka where one of the chalas were broken, that they're all pasul. Hanit meis. He wants to tell you, but if one of them became tamei, even though it's pasul, so we're not talking about yetzer, we're talking about tuma. So hanach, there will say kshedes, and it's muteres b'achila. My time, what's the reason? The Meratzah tzitz, it says that the tzitz is Meratzah, it forgives on the kabbanis that are tamei, and therefore the burning of the bazichin will help for these 12 chalis, even though they became tamei. Alo yatzas, but if any of them left outside the hazara loy, it won't become mutter for those that are left in, because the tzitz is not Meratzah for yetzer. So the Haktarah will not help to be matter those that are in. So we find, so if we explain the dik this way, so then it follows Rabbi Lezer. With Rabbi Lezer, it follows Rabbi Lezer, who argues on Rabbi Akiva. The Amma that he says, Ein zik ma'elas li yetzer, that the zik will not help to be machshed for those that are left inside, even though one went out. Ubedin hu di bay leila misnei nami. Ube'emes, it was fit to learn the Braisa, even Yatzas, as the Psul. And instead of the case of that the Chala broke and it's missing. And this that the Mishnah chose to learn the Psul of Nifrisa, where the Chala crumbled and it became missing, and that's possible. Hakamash, this is what he wanted to teach us, a Chiddush. The Afilo, even if it was only Nifrisa, if one of the Chalas were broke, and it became, and it's chaseda, and it's missing, but the isa b'fnim, it's still in the game, it's still inside. Nevertheless, he's coming to tell you, the Haktorah will not help for it. Avol Rabbi Akiva, the Zika Ma'elas Liyaitza, but Rabbi Akiva who says Zika will help for if it was taken outside the Azara. Then he'll hold, even if it was missing, the Haktorah will help it to remove the din of Meila or to make it into Pigul. The Haktorah helps, and to be kasha those left over chalas that were inside.